Audrey, my 6-year-old. Daddy, did you know that after Michael left my school, he came back and now people call him David? Does he look and sound totally different too? Yeah, well, that's not the same kid, honey. Huh. Maybe. What is up, my aesthetic boys? It's Fresh back with another video, this time from r/KidsAreF, very, for monetization purposes, stupid. And it's a really fun one, so I hope you guys enjoy the episode. When I was a kid, maybe 5 or 7, my best friend and I used to beg my mom to let us play Cinderella, and she would just give us a bunch of chores to do. Homie, your mom got finessed. Damn. This morning, my son said his ear hurt, and I asked on the inside or outside, so he walks out the front door, comes back in, and says both. Moments like this got me wondering if I'm saving too much for college. So when I was 4 and still in kindergarten, I really liked Spider-Man, but this wasn't like any other kid's fandom of Spider-Man. I even dropped spiders on my hand to get them to bite them. One day we were doing things with super glue and the teacher told us to be very careful because it was very sticky. So naturally I poured it all over my hands and stuck them to the closest wall to be like Spider-Man. It took about 10 minutes for the teachers to notice, and by then the glue was dry. It took an hour to get it off. My parents were so annoyed when I got home, but I just remembered that I was closer to Spider-Man than any of those dumb idiots in my class would ever be. I was so dumb. You may have been dumb, but you truly were closer to Spider-Man than any of the dumb idiots in your class would ever be. Bro, you don't understand. Some kids were Naruto running. Wait, hold on. Is it Naruto? Naruto? I don't know. What? So I asked if they like anime. They said it's from Fortnite. I'm so pissed off, I'll tell you. It's not the first thing that Fortnite has culturally appropriated from other parts of pop culture, and I doubt it will be the last. You would not believe the cultural impact that game has had on especially younger kids. I mean, seriously, some of the characters from it were so popular, they made John Wick into an actual movie. When I was a kid, I was doing grocery shopping with my mom. I was maybe 7 around the time. My mom was putting the groceries in the car and talking to someone, so in my mind, I thought this is taking so long. So I left. I went home, which is at least a couple kilometers. I still have no clue how I knew the entire way there. The house was locked, so I waited in the garage. My mom didn't find me, so she called the cops, who eventually gave an Amber Alert. I was found later that day in the garage by my aunt. Back when I was but a wee lad, how wee you might ask? Well, I'd say around knee-high to a grasshopper. Anyhow, back when I was that wee lad, I would unwittingly get myself high with markers and glue. I just thought they smelled nice. Only realized what I was doing in 6th grade during an anti-drug assembly. Children are the best fundraisers because they don't understand economics. Principal says the student who raises $500 for the school will get this free hat. 12-year-old me, man, that is such a great deal. My mom is a teacher, and a few years ago she was teaching a class of 2nd graders. I was at her school, and the kids were having recess outside, and I was walking through a doorway, and I saw a 2nd grade boy and a girl sitting on the ground in the hallway. The girl was crying, and the boy looked pissed off. I asked what they were doing. The boy responded, talking about our relationship in the most serious voice a 2nd grader could muster. I continued walking and never saw them again. Honestly, kids in relationships follow the dumbest fucking logic. When I was in 2nd grade, I convinced myself that I had a crush on a girl who I did not have a crush on just because my best friend did like her. My 6-year-old brain was so convinced in the absolute fidelity of my best friend's decision-making processes that I assumed, well, if he likes her, I need to like her as well. Pretty flawless logic if you ask me. This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. You probably never thought you'd be asking for a wallet for Christmas, but I guarantee you'll be wanting one under the tree this year. This is quite literally the classiest wallet you can buy. Does your wallet come plated in 18 karat gold? The Ridge Wallet holds 12 cards plus cash, it fits in your front pocket like nobody's business, and it comes with a lifetime guarantee. This could literally be the last wallet you ever buy, and with a look this good, I wouldn't blame you. Whether it's for you or a loved one, you can't go wrong with something built right. Go to ridge.com/fresh and use code FRESH to get 10% off, plus free global shipping, and if you really don't love it, you can send it back within 45 days for a full refund. 40,000 5-star reviews can't be wrong, so Check them out at ridge.com/fresh. I was terrified of ghosts when I was little, so my mom told me that I can vacuum them up and had me clean the house, telling me I was getting rid of them. Damn, parents really do be finessing their kids into doing chores like that. Holy cow. My mom ran a daycare out of our house when I was growing up. We usually had 3 or 4 extra kids around the house, as well as my older half-sister and I already living there. My mom took all of us to the grocery store once. I must have been around 6 years old. We get to the checkout line and the cashier says, "Wow, lots of kiddos." I look her in the eye and proudly exclaim, "Yup, and we all have different dads." When I was a kid, I wanted to be a paleontologist, but then I thought by the time I was an adult, all the dinosaurs would have already been discovered, so I stopped being into dinosaurs. Went through the drive-thru at the bank, and the lady gave my kids a lollipop. Connor goes, "It took that long just to get candy?" Yeah, bud. We just waited 20 minutes at the drive-thru candy store. When I was 9, I got the food slapped out of my mouth for calling my 12-year-old sister a slut at the dinner table. She dropped a fork or something, so my smartass says, "Nice one, slut." My mom apparently had no idea I had confused the word with klutz. Now, obviously inappropriate for a child to say, but I don't know. I feel like this one carries some water in 2020. I think this one stood the test of time. You say "nice one, slut," I think that gets a reaction. I would say large on the back if it sounded like an office quote, but nonetheless. I think the original caption for this post on Reddit was something about the kid thinking he was Superman, but I think the real superhero here is that fucking TV mount. Can I get a link to something that's going to support, what, an extra 60 pounds just dragging it down? That's impressive. I love it when the little kids I'm teaching online have complete and total misconceptions about what's going on. So far, I've encountered the following. 1. I'd been teaching a little girl for several months when one day she said to me, "My mother says you're a real person, not an app. If you're a real person, show me your husband." 2. I was about to end a class, but the little girl I was teaching didn't want the class to end. She turned to her mom and asked if she could please watch one more episode. Turns out she was under the impression that I was a very interactive TV program. 3. I couldn't find my marker in class today. The boy I was teaching was like, "What's your apartment number? I'll come up and help you find it." The boy lives in China and I live in the United States. I guess most people he knows live in the same building as him, so he assumed I did too. 4. I'd been teaching a kid for quite some time when I mentioned my age in class. She was like, "Wait, you're an adult?" She thought I was 12. Now, to be fair, some elementary school teachers can be very young, but also as a kid, you're constantly astounded by teachers being people outside of being your teacher. You know, when I first saw my 2nd grade teacher at the grocery store, I wasn't happy to see her. I was just surprised. I'm like, "What are you doing here? This is the store. You're a teacher." This local boy had to be rescued by firefighters after getting stuck in a cat scratching post. No, we aren't kidding ya. Oh man, the picture doesn't disappoint, and neither do the local news headlines. Now, first of all, I don't think that they should make cat jungle gyms and stuff this big, because if I was small enough, I too would definitely be playing on this. I mean, look at how fun that is. But I think the funnier part isn't the firefighters rescuing him. It's that they set up a phone underneath so he could, lying upside down with his head stuck in this thing, be entertained. God, kids are so obsessed with their phones these days. I hate playing make-believe with little kids. You shoot them with a laser and they're like, "Actually, I went back in time, so it doesn't count." The fuck are you talking about? You just casually rip open a hole in the space-time continuum? That's irresponsible as shit, pal. My 2-year-old and 4-year-old have been communicating via walkie-talkie for 20 minutes. They're in the same room. The walkie-talkies have no batteries. Over. Yeah, bud, that's called playing make-believe, and honestly, it sounds like a lot of fun right now. When I was riding in the car as a kid, there was one road where my mom would start repeatedly looking over her shoulder and accelerating pretty rapidly. I thought the road was a place where police were always stationed, that she was being chased by the cops every single time. It wasn't until I was about 11 when I realized that she was just merging onto the freeway. Sorry guys, I meant to write Fortnite, but autocorrect changed it and I don't know how to change it. I'll make new page. When I was 12, I tried to cheat at poker by pulling some cards out of a nearby deck when nobody was looking. I grabbed 3 kings and put them in my hand, discreetly hiding the cards I was replacing. So then there I was, holding out my 5 cards. 3 with red backs and 2 with blue backs. In some ways, this reminds me of a wacky hijinks that my brother got himself into when we were younger. We went over to a friend's house and we were going to play Monopoly. And when my friend brought the game board out, my brother got very excited and he says, "Yo, John, I have this new strategy that will make me win Monopoly every time." And then he asked, "Can I be banker?" My son just came to me with a bag of chips and said, "Daddy, I can't eat this. The bag is broken," pointing to the open end of the bag. Me, thinking he was just being a 5-year-old making a big deal out of some minor grievance, I said, "There's nothing wrong with it, just eat the chips." "But I can't, the bag's broken." "What does that have to do with the chips?" No. "I can't eat it because there's a hole in the bag." And I said, "Yeah, that's how you open it. Here, give me the bag." He sighs and carefully hands it to me. I grab it by the open end and the chips immediately fall out the bottom. Both sides of the bag were open. "Son, I told you." "Yeah, you did tell me."